What if I told you that anger, one of the most misunderstood emotions in all of human psychology, was actually designed to be something beautiful? Stick with me here, because once you understand what anger was truly built to do, you are going to see yourself and the people around you in a completely different way. And that shift in understanding, it might be one of the most powerful tools you will ever pick up on your journey toward personal growth. Let's start with something fascinating. Deep inside each of us, wired into our very nature, is a built-in moral compass. Without ever taking a philosophy class or reading a psychology textbook, we somehow already know what healthy love looks like. We know it requires honesty. It requires reliability. It requires respect, consistency, and genuine care for another person. That knowledge is not something we have to learn from scratch. It is already there, written into who we are as human beings. So here is where anger enters the picture, and this is where things get really interesting. When someone we care about lies to us, or treats us unfairly, or breaks our trust, something inside us activates immediately. That activation is anger. But here is what most people miss entirely. Anger in its original healthy form is not a destructive force. It is a protective one. Think of it like an internal alarm system, a signal firing off and saying, hey, something important has gone wrong here. Something that matters needs your attention right now. Anger was designed with two very specific purposes. The first is to alert you. It is telling you that something in a relationship or situation has crossed a line, that something dishonest, unfair, or disrespectful has happened and needs to be acknowledged. The second purpose is equally important: motivation. Anger was designed to give you the drive, the energy, the urgency to go and make things right. Not to destroy, not to wound, but to repair, to restore, and to bring a relationship back to a place of honesty and trust and mutual respect. And your brain is actually built to support this whole process in a remarkable way. When anger or fear or a sense of real danger arises, your brain releases a hormone called cortisol. This chemical floods your system with focus, with adrenaline, and with extra energy. It is essentially your body saying, this matters, go handle it, you have everything you need right now to fix this. When anger functions the way it was designed to, it gets channeled towards resolution and the problem gets addressed. And then the anger dissolves naturally because it no longer has a job to do. That is an elegant system. That is genuinely brilliant design. But here is where the story gets more complicated and where understanding human behavior becomes so critically important. For many people, especially those who grew up in environments where their emotional needs were consistently unmet, that elegant system got disrupted. Imagine a child who keeps experiencing things that rightfully trigger their internal alarm: dishonesty in the home, unfair treatment, emotional inconsistency. Their anger fires up perfectly, doing exactly what it was designed to do, pointing toward what needs to be resolved. But instead of resolution happening, expressing that anger gets them punished. So they learn very quickly that the only survivable option is to push it down, to suppress it, to lock it away deep inside. Psychologists sometimes describe this accumulation of suppressed anger as a kind of internal pressure that builds over time. And this matters enormously for understanding people. When a nervous system has been wired since childhood to stay on high alert, to treat every emotional signal as a potential threat, it can become stuck in a state that researchers who study trauma call full activation mode. What this means practically is that the size of the reaction no longer matches the size of the trigger. A small frustration might produce an explosive response. The person is not overreacting to the small thing in front of them. They are reacting to everything that was never resolved before. And once you understand that, people start to make a lot more sense. There is another fascinating pattern worth exploring here that connects directly to the psychology of being heard. Many people who grew up feeling consistently overlooked or dismissed eventually discovered that quiet, calm communication did not seem to work for getting their needs acknowledged, but escalating did. So over time, anger became a strategy. It was wired in as the tool most likely to produce any form of connection or response. Understanding this pattern is not about excusing harmful behavior, but it is about comprehending the hidden forces that shape the way people communicate and why. Now, here's a concept that I find really profound when it comes to personal growth. What is your emotional default setting? If you are not actively working on your inner life, if you are not practicing self-awareness, if you are not intentionally choosing how to process your experiences, where do you naturally drift? For many people, the honest answer is toward chronic low-level anger, anxiety, or a sense of numbness. That drift is not a character flaw. It is a pattern, and patterns can be understood. And what can be understood can also be changed. That is where the hope lives. And that brings us to perhaps the deepest and most important piece of this entire conversation. When difficult early experiences go unresolved, one of the greatest casualties is identity. Instead of growing up with a secure, grounded sense of personal value, a person can develop what psychologists call shame, a core belief, often completely unconscious, that says, I am not lovable, I am not enough, I do not matter the way other people do. And shame is particularly painful because it is not usually experienced as a belief. It is experienced as a fact. It feels absolutely true when it is absolutely not true. And here is what is worth sitting with. That shame creates its own cycle of inward directed anger. When a person believes deep down that they are flawed or unworthy, they become angry at themselves, sometimes without even realizing where that self-directed frustration is coming from. And over time, if that anger keeps spreading outward without understanding or resolution, it can end up pointed at nearly everything and everyone. Partners, family, authority figures, the world itself. When you reach that place, growth feels almost impossible because the energy that could go toward building something meaningful keeps getting redirected toward defending against a pain that was never properly processed. But here's what I want you to take away from all this, and this is genuinely good news. Awareness is the beginning of freedom. The moment you understand why anger functions the way it does, the moment you recognize the original purpose it was designed to serve, you gain something powerful. You gain the ability to look at your own emotional patterns and ask better questions. You can start asking, what is this feeling actually trying to protect? What does it think needs to be resolved? And you can begin doing the extraordinary genuinely life-changing work of redirecting that energy back towards its original design, back toward protecting what matters, restoring what has been broken, and building a life grounded in honesty, integrity, and meaningful connection with others. Understanding anger does not mean tolerating mistreatment or excusing harmful behavior. It means gaining the kind of self-knowledge that makes you a wiser, calmer, more compassionate person, someone who can look at difficult emotions in yourself and in others and say, I see what is happening here and I know what to do with it. That is the power of psychological understanding. That is what self-awareness can actually do for a life. And that journey toward deeper self-knowledge is one of the most worthwhile things any of us can invest in. If you are curious about human behavior, personal growth, and understanding why people do what they do, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Here at Psychology Thinkers, we explore the hidden forces that shape our thoughts, emotions, decisions, and behaviors, both in ourselves and in others. And if you would like to go even deeper, be sure to watch the playlist below, where you will learn how these hidden forces influence everyday life and why people make a lot more sense than they first appear.